Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Welcome to another episode of Raw Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How you doing today? Now I'm looking at an article on the Our Revolution website. Decided to just look around at the website and see what they added and things like that. And here's news. This was August 6, 2018. This is on the site of Our Revolution. On the 53rd anniversary of the Voting Rights Act, Our Revolution, a Bernie Sanders-inspired organization ran by Nina Turner, urges Americans to continue fighting to ensure elections are free and fair and accessible to all. This took place in Washington. Our Revolution today joined the nation in commemorating the 53rd anniversary of the Voting Rights Acts of 1965. The historic legislation cleared barriers to the ballot box for scores of disenfranchised African Americans and was among the most pivotal civil rights measures ever passed. Our Revolution President Nina Turner issued the following statement. We are not only pausing to remember and celebrate our history, we are doing the work to ensure the Voting Rights Acts remain a potent defense in the fight to expand the franchise. Persons convicted of a felony are barred for life from voting in Florida. This means roughly 1.4 million Floridians are locked out of our democracy, led by Desmond Meade, a returning citizen. The Voting Restoration Amendment for a ballot measure gives Florida voters the chance to return the eligibility to voters to their friends, family, and neighbors who have repaid their debt to society. In addition to supporting ballot measures such as Florida's Voting Restoration Amendment, we're also working to transform the Democratic Party. Here we go again with that. We're pushing the party to truly live up to its Big Tent label. I don't care about no Big Tent. By ensuring primaries are transparent and fair. I'll get back to that in a moment. While we remember the significance of the VRA, we're also recognize that progress is not enshrined. We must constantly work to force our nation to live up to all it promises to be. Since scores of our Americans are barred from voting, and since Election Day is not a holiday, meaning many people in retail jobs must choose between a paycheck and the ballot box, there's much to be done to ensure voting is a fundamental right, not a lofty idea. In addition to supporting the ballot measures that expand the franchise, we'll support candidates who oppose restrictive voting laws and those who believe that our nation is best when all eligible voters have an opportunity to participate in elections that are free, fair, and accessible. Now, here's my commentary on this. Good letter, Nina. Good letter. But I got some problems with it. First of all, the person who started your organization did not call to the carpet the Democratic Party in their own cheating and rigging. People came and had them brought paperwork. People like the same progressive came to her and said, "We need to do something about this. This is your election. You allow not just you to be robbed, but we to be robbed. And I dare you to sit there and let it slide by because you want to let it slide by. We don't want to let it slide by, but you're going to let it slide by anyway." And Bernie Sanders refused to call out the Hillary Clinton camp to this day. You should be calling for an investigation into the primary election. He can get on stage on the floors of Congress and go toe-to-toe with Rand Paul about Russia interfering in the election, and he's too much of a punk and a coward, yes, I said it, to deal with their own Democratic Party. Why? Because you want a position? Who gives a crap about a position? You're going to run for office and they're going to do the same thing to you again. We don't want that. How can we trust to support you and all our revolutionary people and you and anybody else that run under your label to win when you don't have the guts or goals or balls to call out the Democratic Party in its rigging of the election and call for an investigation into the Democratic Party? This means roughly 1.4 million Floridians are locked out of our democracy. When are you going to put the Democratic Party under notice that if they don't, this is where you got to go if you're a revolutionary, Mr. Sanders. If you are not going to allow open primaries in all of your elections, I'm taking me and my supporters out of here and we're running independent. Where's your balls for that? No, you're not going to do it because you're trying to get the support of the Democratic Party and the love of the Democratic Party. At the same time, you're embracing the hate. You're playing both sides of the fence. That's not what a real revolutionary does. When are you going to call them out and say no more closed primaries? Open them all up. Give everybody the opportunity to vote in the primaries. They need to vote who they believe should run against the Republicans. Our voters, our party need to open up itself. If the Republicans don't want to do it, fine, but we're going to be open up to allow independents to vote for who they think should run in the general. We're not only going to allow just Democrats. Because a lot of independents were former Democrats, and they're independents because of stupid stuff like this. When are you going to change the date to same-day registration? If you don't change the date to same-day registration, me and my supporters are going to Nick Branna, and we're going to start a third party. Or we're going to join the Green Party and help build them. Where's your guts for that, Mr. Sanders? Jill Stein laid her position, her platform, for you to take and continue to run, and you told her to kiss your behind, figuratively speaking. You talking about Floridians locked out. You got millions of independents who were locked out from voting for Bernie Sanders in New York. 3 million estimated. So Nina, yes, call all this stuff out, but call it all out. Floridians are locked out of our democracy, led by Desmond Meade, a returning citizen. The Voting Restoration Amendment ballot measure gives Florida voters a chance to return the eligibility to vote. So since we're talking about ballot measures, Ms. Turner, since we're talking about ballot measures, Justice Democrat, our revolution, brand new Congress, we need a ballot measure on the way we vote. We need a ballot measure on going back to paper ballots. We need a ballot measure on going to ranked choice voting. We need a ballot measure on choosing whether we should have blockchain voting, whatever. We need to have a ballot measure to ditch the computerized system and go back to the traditional paper system, ranked choice voting, and if need be, for security, blockchain voting. So open primaries, same-day registration, paper voting, blockchain voting, and making Election Day a holiday, a ballot measure to make Election Day a paid holiday. But you're not going to push that, are you, Mr. Sanders? Because you care more about running in the Democratic Party, and our revolutionists care about running people in the Democratic Party to change it instead of changing the world, changing the fabric of our democracy. Which one is more important? Making it easy for everybody in America of all parties to vote, or just trying to get somebody primary or corporate Democrat? I'm almost done with this. It's a spit in the face, Nina Turner. I love you. I do. I think you have the ability to be the first black female president. You're a firebrand, you're passionate, and you are pushing progressive policies. You're not pushing corporate Democrat policies. Not that I know of. And you are serious, and you do support other parties. Even though you're sticking to being the Democratic, you do believe we should have more parties. So I like you, Nina Turner. But come on. I appreciate you saying all this, but none of this stuff means nothing if your leader, the great Bernie Sanders, is not pushing the same thing in his own rigged election. This is a problem. It shows that he is weak. It shows that he's a sellout. It shows that he cares more about taking over the Democratic Party than taking over progressive initiative taking over America. He honestly believes, well, if we take over the Democratic Party, we can make progressive. It doesn't matter. Just support progressivism. And fight back, man. If you let them railroad you and you not say nothing now, wow, we going to be foolish enough to trust you again, vote for you again, support you again when you couldn't even fix that situation. I see you if you fix that situation. You couldn't even push back. You couldn't call them out. You couldn't call them to the carpet. You couldn't call for an investigation. You wouldn't even participate in the DNC versus Bernie Sanders supporters who sued the DNC. You didn't even want to talk about that. You wanted to be so moderate, mild, don't play both fields, in and out, lukewarm, tired, stale politician you're becoming. And when you start talking about Russia interfering in an election, and you won't even talk about how the Democratic Party interfered in your election, that makes me realize that you're one of the biggest hacks that ever lived. I love you, Bernie Sanders, man. I love Nina Turner. But before you start talking this, because all this is platitude, actions speak louder than words. And you guys didn't show action when the action needed to be shown, and we don't trust that you're going to do it again. That's why a lot of us who left the party, some 13 millions, ain't coming back, and we ain't going to support these corporate Democrats, and you'll be lucky to get us supporting some of your brand new progressive Democrats. Lucky. A lot of us going to support Green Party, and you're going to cause more people to go support Trump again, or people are just not going to vote because you would not take a stand for yourself. And all this stuff right here, it's just platitude and lofty words. I'm Robert Brown with the Robert Report. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, if you like the content, please like it, share it through all the social media platforms. If you have not subscribed, make sure you stop me right now and subscribe. Don't just subscribe, but hit the notification bell like that, a little bell. You gotta click that. That'll let you know when I'm dropping a video. Whoop, there it is. And by all means, if you want to support through Patreon, I appreciate people who appreciate the program and want to donate to the cause on BOBTV. And I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report.